Hello patrons, or Patreons I perhaps should call you. I've decided today to talk about a few bits and pieces. So it's a bit of a random one, what I wanted to share with you, but I wanted to talk about how I use my journal. This is one of many, and also about recycling and being mindful of materials and how I go about setting things up, and I don't know, just a few bits. So, first of all, you're asking, what the heck is this pile of paper here? It looks a bit scrappy. That's because it is. It's some scrappy paper, which I've collected over time. And what I do is every time I've finished with an A4 piece of paper, I tear it, put it together and tear it again into 4 pieces. So I end up with these little leaflet-sized scraps of paper. And they come in real handy. This is from when I've been framing things. And even the piece of paper that comes in the frame, there, it comes in an A4 size or an A3 size. And I tear it in 4 because this side is quite plain. And what it gives me is a whole stack of waste paper. Even here, this is the back of me printing something out on my printer for promotional things. And even an order that I've made on Amazon, the other side's blank. So I mount up a pile of this stuff, and when I want to use it to plan, I can freely do a bit of writing or something like that on it and not worry about wasting any pages on my journal. And it makes it real cool, because then I might do a little scribble like that and think, right, well, I've got no use for that. And otherwise I was going to have thrown that piece of paper away. And I haven't done so yet, but now I am, because I don't really need it. So that's first things first, bits and bobs. So don't be afraid to keep all your, maybe your shipping notes that come with Amazon or other providers are available. Your shipping notes and things like that, they're always blank on the other side, and for data reasons we don't want to just chuck them in the bin because they've got our data on them. So if there's anything to cross out, like there might be on here, I might cross through whatever they are. I probably wouldn't waste a calligraphy bit of ink, but I'd use a black marker pen and line it up as spare paper to use. So these are really handy bits as well if you're planning a design and you want to. So, oh look, see, that's something I did before just to test the pen was working. You don't really want to use a page of your journal to find out if a pen works, do you? So again, sometimes you might watch these videos and think, you know, these are just these are very strange little things. Well, yeah, but you might not have thought of them yourself. So sometimes before I do a piece of work, if I'm in a rush, and that's something we're going to get onto, if I'm in a rush, I might just test if it's working before, because these pens do run down, they do run out of ink, they do get dry, and it's important to check they're working before you put that nib to paper in a really cool design that you've done or something. Don't really need that, do we? Oh, right, so that's my bits and pieces. So we'll get rid of those. And this is my journal. And today, I just wanted to talk about the sort of things that you've been asking me and address them. So one of the things I've talked about is the thickness of this nib. So pens are available in different thicknesses, as you can see. Actually, that was the same. They are available in different thicknesses. This one is a lot thinner, but they're the same mentality and the same design calligraphy pens. So what I'm going to talk about now is up and down, lifting and dropping. So some of you have asked, why can't I get it to go thin? And it's to do with pressure and practice and persistence. So the main thing you need to remember is probably this. Another little bit and bob is I always hold the paper down with another finger if it's got the likelihood that it'll move around, because that could really wreck things. So it's not a race. Nobody should be, I hope, standing over you going, have you finished that calligraphy yet? Hurry up. And that's why I love artistic writing, is because of this. See, look, I'm just neating it up. It's not a race. No one's telling me to hurry up. I can do it in my own time. And this means that here you'll see that the contrast between the downstrokes and the upstroke isn't that big. You've got quite thick lines and then sort of thin lines, but actually generally the difference between the two isn't a large contrast. So let's try it with the thinner pen. Now this gives us a thicker downstroke. So the contrast between the two types of line is much bigger. And this is probably what you've been responding to, because I use different pens for different pieces of work. And that's where I'm going with this. If you've got different pieces of work that are smaller or larger, then use the appropriate pen for the size of the project. So if you're taking a load of stuff down the tip, and there's a lot of it, you might take a van, but if you've just got a few bits, it's a car, and it's the same thing. Funny analogy, I know. So you'll see this is thicker here. Now also these letters are bigger. Now if we start going even smaller, I'm going to use a smaller pen. Go through my pens here. Ooh. Normally I keep them in different pots so I know which is which. Okay, this one's a medium one. I'm just going to go a bit smaller than these letters. So for today, I'm using the dots on the page to make everything on the same level, but we've talked before about alternating the level. I'm just keeping things uniform for you. Now you might notice this is a bit of a trick actually, that actually this third pen I'm using is actually got a thicker nib, yeah, than the second one that I used. Okay. Oh, boo, got a mark on there. So this one top is what I just used, and the second one was thinner, but I've actually done smaller letters. The reason for this is because I'm confident with it and I've done it for a bit longer. So that's really, I'm gonna doodle this because I don't like thinking that I've got a terribly awful line in there. Ooh, look. Add a doodle to it so it looks like it was on purpose. But yeah, for much smaller letters, you don't necessarily need a smaller pen. You just need more confidence. And for that, you need more practice. So, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Practice. Makes and remember, not a race. And my breathing always slows down when I'm doing calligraphy. I find it really relaxing. I know when you're starting out and you're trying to get better at something, it's not relaxing because you're putting yourself under pressure to try and make it better. But actually, why is that? Is that because everyone goes, oh my God, yeah, it was so difficult. Oh my God, I'm learning how to do it. Oh my God, oh, right? Is it a sort of a community thing where it has to appear to be difficult, otherwise it wasn't worth learning? But it's not really. So if you've been doing this for a while now, you'll be starting to feel like, well, it's getting a bit easier. I hope so. So I also wanted to remind you, let's go up and down. I also wanted to remind you about your breathing. So, as I go up and down, so repetition is a wonderful thing. Some people get bored of repetition. But it's sort of the behind the scenes engine of it all. I wasn't concentrating on what I said there. And the more I repetition, doesn't make any sense. But it doesn't matter. It's my workbook, so I'll do what I want. The more I repetition, aha. Ah ha ha. There you go. So that's it for this video. I just wanted to tell you that slow down. It's not a race. Take your time. It doesn't have to be a bigger pen to get smaller letters. Practice makes permanent, and always concentrate on what you're doing and don't try and talk at the same time, because I'm doing videos for you and that's what you're doing here. You're supporting me in order to get that in return, but you don't have to do the talky bit when you do your calligraphy. So go forth and quietly concentrate and practice your art and craft and enjoy it, and keep sending me feedback. I love it.